I'm gonna start off today's video with this. He decided to come by and say hi while I was filming, so he's now getting put in the video. Hey, what's going on, everybody? This video is either going to be a continuation or its own video, depending on how long things go. Well, I guess you'll know if this is at the end or whatnot, but I was showing off it even goes behind the chair, my entire video game collection. And I spent an hour talking about just PS4 and PS5 games. So this is, hopefully I can fit the rest in, but we'll see how it goes. But very passionate about video games, just sort of where I was at in my life, playing the games, like the console, like, for example, one of my neighbors used to babysit me for many years, like elementary school and middle school, and we'd always just go down there after school. She'd make us these little, like, frozen French fry or bacon strips, deli creations. I think they stopped making those a long time ago, but they used to have deli creations, and we'd go down there, play some of these games that I'm about to show you. And not only is the game itself, like, at least on some level good, but then it, like, if I play it now, it kind of takes me back to those simpler times. So I'm going to try and show you all of them in this video. I pray we don't go into a part 3, but I can talk a lot. I got my old Dominion root beer, because last time my throat started getting, like, really dry halfway through. I talk too much, I know. So hopefully that does not happen this time, but if it does, I've come prepared. So sit back, relax. If you care what I have to say, you can listen to me ramble about these games I'm about to show you. If not, you can just listen for the mouth. I guess mouth sounds if I'm talking, but just my soft-spoken. So with that, I'm going to try to organize these a little better and get right back into it. Alrighty, so I decided to start off with my GameCube collection. I did manage to find it. They were not in my room. They were dusty in the attic. But PS2 game tried to sneak in there. So I'm going to start off. Is that even I don't even know what kind of sticker that is, if it's GameStop or not, but I'm going to start this video off with Zelda Wind Waker. Now, I'll just start here and say, I'm 25. I played a lot of N64 games. It really wasn't a daycare per se, it was a couple local kids around me. And one of those was a couple years older, so he brought his N64 down. I played the PS2 when it, like, first came out. I remember going to Best Buy and getting it. So the PS2 was a big one. The GameCube is another big one for me that I played a lot of. it's really the GameCube, the PS2, and the N64 are like the consoles I grew up on. Now you'll notice when I get to, like the Wii, I bought that like years after the fact. I did not get that brand new, but yeah, so the GameCube is one of those. I got it new, and again, it's a very nostalgic time in my life. You just think back when there's like, I actually haven't played this in a while. I need to play it now. I need to replay some of these games, but this is one of my all-time favorite Zelda games. Just riding around in the sea, exploring. Just all the little, like, not only is there little islands everywhere, but there's little, like platforms and stuff like that. It's a lot of fun. I mean, I enjoy Zelda games at their core, but I don't know, the cartoony feel and everything, it was different, and I greatly enjoyed it. Fun fact, I paid $15 for this whenever I bought this, and does it have a date on here? 2004. Yikes. I shouldn't say I bought it, my parents bought it, but I want to say, it could be totally wrong. I was looking at DK Oldies the other day just because they came up on TikTok. I think this right here is going for like $100. Like, it's crazy. Something like this, there's pretty much no amount of money you could offer the original copy that I was playing. Still has a little book and everything in there. Just look at the little tiny GameCube games. But or discs, I should say. Just overall, really fun game for me. There's a couple games I need to play again now that it's been a couple years. I used to, like, this was one of the games, and Ocarina of Time was another one. I used to play, like, once a year, and then I got a girlfriend who didn't like me playing games, so I need to play that again now. Alright, next up, no particular order here. Very dusty is Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess for the GameCube. So this is another one. This one I think has 06 on here. That's probably around when it came out. I loved it. It was a lot for this game. One of the things I do remember is, forgive me, I don't remember like the intricacies of this game because I haven't played it since 06, but I do remember you could rent a boat, and like there's like it's like a fishing area. You get some lures, get a boat, and you could go out and fish. I actually had a lot of fun doing that. But fun fact with this game that I do remember is I played it all the way up until Hyrule Castle, the very end of the game, and got stuck on a part. The internet was not widely prevalent back then. Like, we had it. We had a really old computer. But Googling, it actually kind of made games more funner, but Googling, like, what to do on, like, Zelda Twilight Princess, Hyrule Castle walkthrough, that didn't exist. So if you got stuck on something like that, you either figured it out or you didn't. And in that case, I didn't. So for whatever reason, I moved to another game or whatever, and left it. And then it wasn't until, like, I was a junior or senior in high school, my neighbor that used to babysit us, we went down there and like cleaned out our old games from her, and we still had like our old GameCubes and PS2s down there. And she's like, "Oh, you can come down and pick them up. We're cleaning up the house." And so I got this, and I'm like, I actually don't think I beat this game. So I went back in many years later and sat down and just beat it. I don't think I had to look it up. I think like just over time I figured it out. But so this is like one of the longest games, technically speaking, that it's taken me to beat. But overall, really fun one. If you like Zelda games, you'll like that. Classic. I got Super Smash Bros. Melee for the GameCube. Really fun one to just play with friends who are like into this. I don't know, it's really fun if you don't know the concept. It's just like you pick your favorite characters. You have 0% damage, and the more damage you get, the easier you are to kind of fly off the map. And it's really funny when like both you and your friend that are playing are both at like 300%. So like one little hit's gonna fly you out of the ring, and you're both dodging, you're both trying to attack each other. Oh yes. Yeah, the trophy system. I remember, because you could spin this little, there's like a slot machine you could spin for trophies. I remember there's like a table that displays all of them. And I had it like crazy packed on that table. Just overall, another one of those games that it's a fun game to play together with people. Different maps, different characters. I was always Link. Yeah, that's a very nostalgic game for me. So I do remember, this is Shadow the Hedgehog. I don't know. Yeah, they don't show it on the back. So the cool concept here was you'd start off on like the mission, and there's 3 objectives. There was a good objective, a bad objective, and then like a neutral objective. And then depending on which one you picked, if you went bad, you went up, neutral middle, good down. And those were 3 different missions now. And this game came out in like 2006. Yeah, 2006. And then from those 3 missions, they had a good, a bad, and a neutral. And then you could, it kept going. Again, for 06, it did stop after a little while. Some of the missions were reused, or, like I said, like let's say you went bad one time, but then you went bad neutral. Well, now you're back in the neutral area. So if you played like a really bad ending or a really good ending, or even like a halfway in between, very, very different endings. And I don't know, it was yeah, it was cool just being Shadow and wielding a gun. Very different game, very fun game. I did enjoy that one. So, I don't know if anybody's played this. This was Madagascar for the GameCube. This one came out in 2004 or 2005. 2005. A lot of different copyright dates on these. So, this one, we played a little bit of shuffleboard, but shuffleboard wasn't. This one, still to this day, occasionally, we will play Madagascar Mini Golf. And to anyone who has played it, you might know it's quite different. So it's mini golf, and obviously there's a lot of different obstacles and whatnot. And there's one hole, I think it's like the 7th or 8th hole, where if you played it, you know what I'm talking about. You can, from the very beginning, so up until this point, usually everybody, unless you had a really bad run, but usually everybody's about the same, putt-wise, you know. At this point, you're at like 15, 20 putts across the board. You can, from the start, so it's like, here's the start. Above it is where you want to be, that's the hole. And then it's got this big ramp that takes you all the way down. So you can, and it's been done before, I've done it before, it's pretty rare, you can hit it where that it goes into the hole, but you also risk that going up and then it just slides down the ramp all the way to the bottom. And if it starts sliding, it goes and goes, it doesn't stop. So sometimes someone will get lucky and get a hole in one. Other times, and we've had it before, we'll all be at like 20 putts, and then someone will end up like struggling to get up the hill. You've got to be perfect on it. Sometimes people end up at like 100 putts. It's quite a fun game. And then there's only like 2 holes after to try to catch up, and usually you don't. That game, I still have good memories for the mini golf. This one is the Legend of Zelda Collector's Edition. Alright, so it's got the original Legend of Zelda, Zelda 2, Ocarina of Time, and Majora's Mask. I'll hold off on Ocarina and Majora because I have those in the N64 copies. But I was not alive for the original Zelda and Zelda 2. So this is the first time I played it. Back in, when did this come out? 03. I played both of those too. I beat them. The first one wasn't really hard. It wasn't too hard. It was just kind of knowing where to go and what to do. The second one was very grindy. I do remember like just having to sit there and, you know, kill a bunch of enemies for XP to level up. And then I think I remember one of the temples, you can use the key on it. You get one key, you can actually use it wrong and lock yourself out of the whole game. I do remember because I had to play through this several times. I locked myself out, replayed it. There's 3 extra lives on the map that you need to save to just try to get to the final temple. And then that's the thing, you need those to get to the final temple. But I beat both of those. It's fun to say I played them once, but I don't ever see myself wanting to play those again. Oh man. Kirby Air Ride. I have so many memories playing this game. Yes, so one of them was called, so the overall premise is there's a couple modes. One, there's different types of, as you can see on the back, there's different types of rides that have different stats. You know, are they quick but hard to turn? Are they slow but like can drift really easily? Like that sort of thing. One of them is just you race on different maps. One of them you were like little doing. I don't remember the other one. But the other one was, I forgot. Does it have the names on the back? Was City Trial? Maybe it was. Maybe City Trial wasn't, but you got a map. You started off with your ride. And you had like, I think like 7 or 8 minutes to do what you wanted to do. You could collect items. There's like 3 items for the legendary riders. So one was super slow to get started, and then it got insanely fast. It became slowly over time the fastest in the game. And the other one was really fast and could also soar really good. So you could spend your 8 minutes trying to get one of those rides. You could get another ride that's guaranteed on the field, or you had like a chart of your speed, your turn radius, your boost, like stuff like that. And you could find these items throughout the map by just riding around and breaking boxes and stuff. And you could essentially really get your speed up or really get your damage and attack up. And then after the 8 minutes, you would go into a mini game. It would either be a race, you gotta fight somebody, fight like a mini boss, fight each other, like that sort of thing. And then obviously there'd be a winner. And I have some great memories just riding around playing this game over and over and over again. One of the things, there's a free play mode where you just have the map, and it's, instead of 8 minutes, it's unlimited time. You have all the riders. And I remember as a kid, we literally would collect all the riders. I forget where they spawned in at, but we would collect them all. And we would spend hours, literally, just trying to take all of them and move them all underground. And then we'd move them all somewhere else. And we try to move them all. There's a little platform in the sky, and silly stuff like that. But then the problem is some of the riders were really fast, and you couldn't stop them very quickly. So you'd run into some of your other rides and blow them up. Just a lot of fun. This is a great childhood game of mine. Oh man. So this is the only football game I like to play and that's because it's so not realistic. It's funny. This is NFL Street, and you could maybe, I don't know if my ring light might, but you could see the funny animations. So what the thing was to do is you could create your own team, and you'd do challenges to fight off against each of the different divisions. And you could get gloves that you'd have a chart of stats, like passing speed, catching, running, stamina, things like that. And by doing the challenges, you either got a point. I think they were all out of 10 for each of those categories. You either got a point, or you got gloves that give you +3 passing, that sort of thing. So you do all these challenges, level up your team, and then you play to try to beat the teams. And one of the things I remember doing was 2 things. We had the pigs, is what I called them. So when you start off a custom team, you have I think it was 8,000 points to spend how you want. So you can make them, you could add skills to the players, you could make them bigger or taller, you could do things to them, but they costed points. And the thing I did was, I put no points into any of the stats. I strictly put all the points into making the entire 8-man team 400 pounds, as big as they went, and then 7 foot tall, as tall as they went. I called those the pigs, and they actually did pretty decent. Because no one could, it was just a solid wall of dudes. And then the other thing I remember doing was, again, it's not realistic, so I think it was only 8 people. And then those people, for offense, would also play defense. The other thing I remember doing was putting all the stats that were meant to be across the whole team of 8 into one, just the quarterback. And it worked for a little while, because he could just literally run the ball. But as you started progressing in the challenges, you couldn't. So yeah, it's one of those childhood games. I do remember a free Ratatouille movie ticket inside. Does that expire? Oh, expired. It expired back in 2007. This is Ratatouille, the video game. And the part I remember, probably hard to see, in the bottom there was like these fruit worlds that you'd have to make it through. Like there'd be a whole world devoted to like cheese and a whole world devoted to like fruit and vegetables, and like there'd be obstacles and stuff to get to. It was alright. I don't know how well this would hold up today, but from what I remember, it was an okay game. I don't really have a whole. I don't remember it being bad, but I certainly don't remember it being like the best game I've ever played. I'm gonna take a sip real quick. Oh man, ooh, that's so much more refreshing than last night. This is Rocket Power Beach Bandits. I absolutely loved this game. So, I'm trying to remember the plot. So the overall premise is you start off as Rocket Power characters on like a jet ski or skateboarding and stuff like that. And then I'm trying to remember what the threat was. There was like this big threat that came, and like that's what you did. Like you didn't just walk around. You'd have to like get to the top of the secret base by skateboarding your way up the side of it, or by jet skiing across the obstacles. And actually, it was a pretty fun game. Zip lines and stuff like that. This one might be a playthrough again. It's now up to the team to find out who's stolen the sand and wrecked their summer. So yeah, that one actually was pretty fun. Alright, so that's all my GameCube games. Like I said, I'm very nostalgic for the GameCube. Just, I don't know how well some of those games would hold up today, but in the past, when I was a kid playing them, they were a lot of fun. What the heck, while I'm here. So, let's see if I got them all here. So, I'm going to start off. This is my N64 games. If you know, you know. 1996. This one is Star Fox 64. So my older friend, that used to be babysitting with us, he was really good at this game. I was not. I think it was literally like there's a spaceship boss. It was like the second or third one. I could not get past it for the life of me. But I believe there was a multiplayer for this, and that's pretty much what we only played. So I can't knock it, but, you know, like 8-year-old me wasn't very good at this game. Next up, I have V8 or Vigilante 8. This was like an absurd, you're a school bus or you're a car or whatever with rockets and guns on it and stuff, and you'd play multiplayer with your friends and try to take each other out. I don't remember a whole lot past that. I just remember having fun ramming your school bus into like a car and trying to blow it up and stuff like that. Next up, why not? I'll do Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask. This one's the gold. I don't remember off the top of my head. I think it was like collector's edition or something. 1997. This game is I did manage to, so, I remember that. I did manage to beat it. And the saving grace for me was finding all of the masks and getting I think it was the deity mask. That really made the game easy. I remember distinctly the water temple. I think it was the third temple. And that's because I kept having trouble. Again, we're going back when I played this was like end of elementary school, maybe if it's a middle school. I had trouble in the water temple. And the problem with the game is everything resets after 3 days. So if you don't beat the temple in 3 days, you gotta redo the entire temple. And again, there's no internet to help you. So if you got stuck on a part, you kinda had to quickly figure it out. Otherwise, you weren't gonna get it. So I redid the water temple several times in this game because I couldn't figure it out. But overall, pretty fun game. I didn't play this one nearly as much as the next game I'm about to show you, but overall I got good memories with it. I personally like its predecessor more, which is I'm pretty sure these games are not, I'll just keep it in the box. I'm pretty sure these are not the original boxes. But my local game shop made these little boxes up. This is Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time. The 1999 Game of the Year. I think he just made these boxes up because I think it was cardboard that it came in. But I'm not going to talk too much about this game. I personally love the concept, in real life, outside of the game. I love the concepts of different seasons, different times of day, different weather, just that sort of thing. Time moves, things change. So, the winter time, it can be morning, winter time, noon, dinner time, nighttime, any one of those. It can be raining, it can be snowing, it could be bright out, it could be dark out, it could be a light snow, it could be a heavy, several inches on the ground snow. It can be just all sorts. It could be a warm December day, it could be a cold December day. I like that. And the thing I like about this game is that there's different, one of the, it kind of plays into that, is the different temples. So there's a forest, a fire temple, a water temple, spirit, sand temple. I think it's spirit, but it's kind of sandy. And then a shadow temple. And I don't know, it's just, it's fun to be a whole temple devoted to water, or a whole temple devoted to the forest, the deep forest and stuff, or fire. I like that concept. And I don't know, just the game itself it's a fun world to explore, especially as a kid, but there's really no games out there like this. Just overall really fun game. What's there to say that hasn't been said? It's got enough of a challenge to it to make it fun and enjoyable, but not too hard. And the payoff's really rewarding when you're in front of Ganon's temple. You make your rainbow bridge across, and then you do some stuff, and then you fight Ganondorf. It's really rewarding and fun. So, highly recommend. I'm sure you've played it by now if you haven't. But there you go. And lastly, this one. I'm a Kirby fan. This one's Kirby and the Crystal Shards. So the premise here is there's oh my gosh, I haven't played this one in a while, 5 or 6 worlds, and they all have 5 missions and a boss to them. So you can just play through the story, do the 5 missions and the boss for each of the 5 worlds, and you get a ending, but that's not why you're here. Each of the missions has like 3 crystals that you can pick up, and the point of Kirby is he can swallow enemies and gain their abilities. So like one mission you'll need to swallow a cutter and a spark to make a cutting spark sword. I'm butchering that, but that's the basic premise. And that cutting spark sword can get you one particular secret. So like sometimes those 3 crystals on the map are really easy to get, and then other times it requires like a power or a combination of powers. And sometimes you can't even get those powers on that map. You have to go to like another map and get them. And then once you collect all, I believe it totals out to 100 crystals, you get a secret final boss. All the crystals combine to make like a crystal like gun kind of thing, and you fight this final boss. And there was one I remember, I'll put it down. There's one crystal I remember as a kid struggling to get, and that's because our older friend, he liked to pull jokes on us. One of the most famous jokes I can remember is, I'll skip ahead here because I think it's right behind me. Correct. So, Battlefront 2 for the PlayStation 2. I think like score-wise, and I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself, but bear with me, this comes together. One of the like general, so you get like ranks by getting points. I think like the rank of general, which is the highest, is like 40,000 points, which is no laughing matter. He lied, but it's not really lying. It's like it was a fun and playful thing, and for the longest time, I believed this one. He said at 100,000 points, you get to become an admiral, which is the highest rank. And I don't think after all the time playing, I don't have a PS2 anymore, but I still have my original memory card. I don't think we ever even got close to 100,000. But it's one of those like pranks he played. So there's one crystal in there where it's a long path up, and you have to get this stone carving ability where you become like different animals. The correct way to do it is one of those animals can literally just run up the wall, no problem. He told us the way to get it was you had to like become a bird, which could only fly like a little ways up, and then it would get exhausted. He told us, you had to fly up, change the animal, and the animal was random as well. You had to, like 4 or 5 of them. So you had to fly up, change back into a bird, which is pure RNG, fly up some more, turn into a bird, and then fly up some more and get it. And we tried that many times, and I did get it where twice it was the bird, but I never got like the 3rd bird. Instead of just, little elementary school me, instead of just trying the other animals. But finally got the crystal gun, and his name was like Zero or something like that. I don't remember, but that was a fun game to play, collect all the shards over time and whatnot. That is all my N64 games. And again, this is all the ones I own or possess. Like some of those games, there was like Command & Conquer was another one I don't have, but because he had it. So this is just the games I physically own. This isn't all the games I've ever played ever, but I'll knock this one out. This one should be pretty quick, actually. So the Wii U. I got the Wii U whenever it first came out, brand new. And because, like I said, we started on the N64, went to the GameCube. We skipped the Wii for some reason. I think they were hard to get. I remember one of my friends camped out in front of Toys R Us. That stuff makes me burp. I'm sorry. He camped out in front of Toys R Us and got the Wii brand new, but we never played the Wii until years later. But I did get the Wii U brand new, and then from the Wii U I got the Switch. So I've been playing Nintendo all my life, and PlayStation. As you'll see, I went from the PS2 to the 3 to the 4 to the 5. So the Wii U got brand new. And I don't know what it was about it. It just, like the Switch, I play that a lot, still to this day. And over the last 5-6 years that I've had it, I play it a lot. The Wii U never caught on. I don't know if it's just the game library or just the weird handheld. I don't know, but I just could never get into the Wii like that. So I have all these Wii U games, and I don't think I ever really played many of them, to be honest. Well, don't look at those. Those are Wii. Got a couple Wii games sneaking. So I'll look at these real quick, but I don't think I ever really played many of them. This one's Just Dance 2016. My ex, like, it was a fun game to play, like, dance around and play with, but there's only so much of this you could take. Wheel of Fortune, I am a sucker at times for getting the family together or just getting some friends together and playing like these silly games. Yeah, Wheel of Fortune is one of those. But again, the problem with the, like, even the Switch, like, you can buy more controllers for and stuff. The Wii U had one big pad, so like it was hard. Like, again, I never really played it much. I never was able to play it like much with friends and family and stuff. Lego Jurassic World, I bought this one. I don't believe I ever played it though, so there's kind of that. Star Fox Zero was like a collector's bundle thing. And I don't believe I ever played it. Super Smash Bros. For the Wii U. It's another one, like the GameCube. I think you could plug like Wii remotes into the Wii U, but the GameCube, you could plug 4 controllers in and just play the thing. This we never did, so I played this like solo a little bit, but it just, the whole system was kind of weird. I was not a big Wii U fan. I still have it, but I think I was asked for it for Christmas one year, but to be honest, it's kind of a waste. I think they were like $300 new, and still to this day I've gotten nowhere near like $300 worth of value out of it. Here's Lego Movie, the video game. It's another one of those. I bought it for, oh gosh, I paid $13 for this. I bought it because normally I like Lego games, but I just never got around to playing it. Like I've mentioned in the first video, there was a game store apart from my college, and a lot of these games, and at the time I think I was a GameStop rewards member, a lot of these games were like ridiculously cheap, because like I'd go over there, the guy from the guy at the college game shop knew me, and so he'd be like, oh well, you know, if you buy a bunch I'll cut some pricing off, and you'll see that with the Wii games. I don't remember like half of them, but they were like $1 or $2 a piece, so I just bought a whole mess. This is Star Fox Guard. It was a part of that bundle. I don't even know what this is. I never played it. I hate to be that guy. It's the first game I actually did play, Hyrule Warriors. So, as you'll see, I'm a fan of Dynasty Warriors, and this is a kind of a cross between Zelda and Dynasty Warriors. And this game worked. It was fun to play through once, but it just, I like games that have like replayability and stuff. So like, I know this isn't the PlayStation video, but in my PlayStation video I said, like, Red Dead Redemption 2. I can still, to this day, even though I've beat the game, platinumed it, done everything there is to do, I can still hop on that game, even though I haven't touched it in like a year, just ride around, enjoy the scenery, beat up some people for fun, play with my friends. Like, there's that replayability factor that it makes the game kind of timeless, in a sense. Even, like, Ocarina of Time, that's another game I haven't picked up in many years and played through, but I kind of want to, because I haven't played it in many years. Just whip out the old N64 and play. And I feel like a lot of these games, that one in particular, like, for me at least, they're like one playthrough, I experience the game, and then I never touch it again. Just because it doesn't have that, like, spark that I'm looking for. So, and that was one of them. This one's Nintendo Land. I think this is supposed to be like a Mario Party kind of thing. I don't remember this one. And again, we bought all these games thinking you could play like 4 players easily. And at the time I didn't even own a Wii. So, this whole system was a bust for me. Lego Marvel Superheroes, it's another one. Got for a couple bucks, never played. Just Dance 2018. You know, now that I think about it, the Just Dances were, for a time, they were fun. As you see when I get to the Switch, I'm gonna bash one of them, but for a time they were fun. You'd start, like, the base game came with, like, you got the base game and then you got like a vault or something that had like hundreds of songs. The Switch one had like 20 songs and you had to pay real money to get more. It was stupid. But you paid $60 for the base game for 20 songs. It was a huge ripoff. Wipeout 3. I don't think I played this one. That was another one I wanted to play with friends because I played the... Yeah, because I played the Wii. So, my timetable might sound weird here. I got the Wii U when it first came out and barely bought any games for it. I literally bought it. There's only 2 games. Here, I'll finish these games real quick. Guitar Hero Live. I love the original Guitar Heroes. This one was okay. It was weird trying to get used to it, but I don't know. I just prefer the old 5, like the 5 keys. I did manage to get used to it, but it wasn't the same. I still am a firm believer, if they brought back the 5-key guitar for like the PS5 or whatever, had like all the original songs, and maybe even some more. You had like hundreds of songs from the original 5 games, World Tour, all of that. And maybe even had some new ones. I'd go out right now and buy it. If I had like all the classic Guitar 3, World Tour, like those songs, I'd put $60, $70 down and buy that myself. And I'm sure other people would too. And then lastly, I have another Just Dance 2015. So, back to what I was saying, now that the Wii U games were done. I got the Wii U, I think like the first Christmas it came out. That's what it was. It came with Mario Kart on it. Realized like I could play Mario Kart, but I didn't have any other controllers or anything to play Mario Kart with. So, it was one of those things that just sat there. I think I just put it in my closet. Never touched it. And it sat for years until I got to high school, or I got to college, where that game store was across from me and like GameStop and stuff. And by then, I'll just do the Wii next. That game shop had the Wii with all 2 controllers, everything needed, for $50. So I bought a Wii, and then realize I forgot I had the Wii U. And then I bought all those games for it. So then at that point I did have a controller, but it still wasn't the same. Like, one of us playing on a gamepad, like with Mario Kart, and the other one's playing on a Wii controller. It wasn't right. I was not a fan. Did not like the Wii U whatsoever. The Switch I love the Switch. Oh my gosh. Like, my brother bought, I think it's Switch Sports now. They have bowling, they have golf, like stuff like that. Jambara, I think is what it's called. Like, you hit two people with sticks, trying to knock them out of the ring. Like, with that game, I just bring my two controllers in, he'll bring his two controllers in, and four people can very easily play. Like, I feel like it just works well on the Switch. But so, not a huge Wii U fan. It is what it is. Maybe if I went to the game store and saw, but there's no real games that the Wii U has that are like, I would look at it and say, oh man, I want to put, 20 hours down to beating, like, to this day, so. This is quite the stack. The Wii, on the other hand, I bought two controllers for, so me and my ex played a lot of this. We're just family. There's family game night too. This one had Connect 4 was a fun one. And again, like, this one was $8 at GameStop, so. So this is I Spy Spooky Mansion. And if you're familiar, I had this originally on my family's PC in, like, the very early 2000s. And then I saw them remade it for the Wii, and I had to play it again. So it's I Spy, and you're essentially trying to get out of a house and oh my gosh, such nostalgia when playing that. Love that game. Fun I Spy, but it's all creepy and crawly. The original Mario Kart for the Wii. Classic. I mean, Mario Kart's Mario Kart at the end of the day. It's fun to sit down with friends, and I think they're in my closet. I bought the little steering wheels for them. It's fun to sit down with your friends and race them, and one of your friends in first place, so you throw a blue shell, and ultimately Mario Kart's a fun one. This is Sega Superstars Tennis. Never played because I think you needed like a tennis racket or something. I don't know. Never played that one. Wii Music. I think you needed a microphone for or something. Never played it. This one's criminal. I'm sorry. This is Skyward Sword. I think this is actually like the collector's edition or something. 25th anniversary edition. Includes music disc. So you'll notice I'm a huge Zelda fan. I've played almost every single one of them. Oh, I never got my Game Boy games. Oh no. Well, good thing I remembered. I've played almost all of the Legend of Zelda games that have ever been out. I'd never played like Oracle of Ages, Oracle of Seasons, or Four Swords. I think those are the only three I'm missing. But regardless, I never played this one. I bought it. Again, this was after the Wii had been out for many years. The Wii U was out at this point. This was 2016 that I went to college, so the Switch had been out, or was about to come out the next year, so I bought it thinking I was finally going to play it, because I didn't have the Wii when this game first came out. Because I remember my friend who got the Wii on launch, I think this was like 07, off the top of my head. 2011, oh. And this was the game they were like demoing with the Wii, because you could hold your sword and like swing the sword. I still have never played this game. I really want to, but I feel like there's just constantly games that come up and I never get around to playing it. So that's one I really want to and I need to, but because I've heard great things about it, but I just need to get around to it. This is a fun one. Are you smarter than a 5th grader? It's a fun, just family game. Roast your family members kind of thing. You'll notice for the Wii, there's not really a whole lot of like, when you look at the PS4 games that I had, they're very like single player campaign stories. With the Wii, I have a lot of family games because, I don't know, when I think of Nintendo, I think of that. So, this is Just Dance 2. I like the Just Dance games. This is Pictionary. The problem is, I think you needed the U-Draw game tablet, and I never found that. Never got it. This probably would have been a fun game, but I never got the tablet. Because again, by the time I got the Wii in 2016, which had been out way longer than, that's what it was. That edition might have been 2011. I'm pretty sure the Wii came out in like 07 or something, but what was I gonna say? Like I said, I got the Wii in 2016, so by then there was no U-Draw tablets available, pretty much. Lego Batman 2. It's alright. Like I said, I try to nab up all the Lego games. This is another one. As you can see, I paid $2 for it, but I needed the pad. I meant to just like go on eBay and buy a pad, but I don't know why I never did. So, Lego Indiana Jones. I think I played this one on the PS2 mainly, but I bought it because it was $8. This game was a lot of fun, and I remember because you could create your own levels, and then there was like levels created that you could do, and I remember that was a lot of fun. But like, I 100%ed this game, and I got from what I do remember, it was fun. The original Lego Star Wars Complete Saga. Blast playing this one. Do I have the original as well? Maybe I have it for the PS2, but overall, the original first one and this one here for Lego Star Wars was a blast. I loved playing them with my brother, and they were just so simple and fun back then. What's not to love? This is Lego Game Party 3. I don't think I ever played it. Force Unleashed. I mainly played this for the PS2. Again, it was $2.69, so I just bought it for the Wii. I don't know if I still have my PS2 copies or not, so I'll just talk about it while I'm here. I played the second one, wasn't a huge fan. This one, the first one, was a lot of fun in my opinion. Different, like collecting the different lightsaber colors and whatnot. For 2008, this was a fun one. Yeah, the Wii. Yeah, oh yeah, this is a Wii game in 08, so I think I was right about 2007. Lego The Hobbit, but I don't even have the proper case for. And same with Jeopardy, I don't have the cases for them. And I never really played them. Oh, man. So one of my friends had this. This is a Nerf N-Strike Elite. We used to be huge into Nerf. Had to have like, and again, I'm talking like, I could be totally wrong, like elementary school and middle school, like 05 to like 2011 maybe off the top of my head. Those dates could be wrong. But like the Raider, I remember, I still have all of them. Like the Raider was like a big 30-round drum. And like the fun thing was, there was only so many guns out at the time. You could always mix and match parts. And it was a lot of fun to go running around they had a basement, to go running around the basement and just have like a big all-out Nerf war. We used to have to label the darts with our names. Just have just this big all-out Nerf war, and like that game was one of the. It brings me back to that time. Winter sports, never played. Sonic Sega All-Stars, another one I never got around to playing. Just Dance 3. It's another Just Dance game. I don't believe there's really any change between them. You're kind of just waving your hand around. We Play. I don't believe I ever played that one. Just Dance 2015. Never. If I did play it, all the Just Dances kind of blur together for me. And then this is the reason I bought the Wii U Wipeout that I never played, because we did play this one. And this one was actually a lot of fun. They make it comical how like easy it is to fail and like bounce on a ball and mess up. So it's another fun one to play with friends. Oh, that was so smart bringing that this time around. Alright. Gosh, I'm long in this video. Try to speed things up a little bit here. Yes, this is the Ultimate Sith Edition. Years have not been kind to it for The Force Unleashed. And that's because they came with these. They came with these cards. I don't understand them. I guess they just look cool. But I already touched on Force Unleashed. This was just the collectors. Dynasty Warriors 7. I don't want to hang up too much on all the Dynasty Warriors that I have. I think this one was 2013, if I remember. 2011. 2011. I think this one was a big innovation for the game, but a lot of the Dynasty Warriors, unless there's like really specific things, they kind of blend together for me. They're just, all the battles are the same because it takes place off of real life battles. And the characters are the same because they take place off of real life characters. It's just, do they update the weapons or the designs or like little modes? So a lot of those, if I show a Dynasty Warriors game, unless there's something like specific I remember, I'm just going to skip over it. Ratchet and Clank, Tools of Destruction. I loved these games. Like, running around, the worlds were so cool back then. And like running to get all the gold bolts and different guns and stuff was a lot of fun. Alright, I'm going to skip this. This is a joint package game. I'm going to skip it because I have the other games separated. Modern Warfare 3. Going back in time here. I played like Infected and a little bit of the multiplayer. Mainly I played the, I think it was survival mode with my brother. It was fun, like camping in like I forget the map, but there's one that has like a little store in the back. They were dropping off like 3 juggernauts and we're camping in the store. Back then I didn't really have... there's other games I played, so I did enjoy this game and I did play it a little bit, just not to the degree, because back then I had to share my PlayStation 3. We only had one in the house between my other 2 brothers. So I never got a chance. We literally divvied it up by hours, so I got an hour, my brother got an hour, and the other brother got an hour. So like Black Ops 3 is one of my favorites, not only because of the game, but it's like the first game I had the time to sit down for 12 hours and just play it. And these games I didn't. Dynasty Warriors 6 Empires. The fun thing with this was so it's based off of China. They blocked it off. And what you could do is you could make your own team, you could make your own characters, and that's what I did. So you have like the regular characters, but then you could customize and design. What I did was like my fellow classmates, friends, family, like that sort of thing. And then it became like a battle of like see which family members lived, which ones. And so you get down to it where like it'd be like you and your grandpa are the only two that own like half of China, and you're fighting for the war. And it's funny because like, so everyone would start off with their own square on this map, and then like as a battle happened, they would either die or they would get like recruited, and it all happened like automatically. Like I had no say in it, the game just decided. And so like at one point, you know, your uncle could be in charge of one chunk of China, and then he could be like a couple like missions down the line, or a couple like moves down the line, he could be a member of your army if you took it over. So it was fun in that regard. Ratchet and Clank: A Crack in Time. This is another one. I don't remember like the intricacies of it, but it's another one just fun to run around, explore the world, get all the gizmos and guns and everything. Dynasty Warriors 8. I don't remember anything special about this one off the top of my head. From Ratchet and Clank All for One. I do not remember the specifics of that one, unfortunately. Injustice for the PS3. I touched on this one for the PS4, but I'll quickly. I like Injustice. I played the mobile games for both 1 and 2. I am not a fan of typical fighting games, so I played through the story, and then I stopped playing. I don't really like the multiplayer for that kind of thing. I don't know why we're sticky. Oh, there's GameStop sticky. Is somehow still sticky. Interesting. This is World at War. I remember playing the OG Zombies. This is PS3. Yeah, that sounds about right. I remember the OG Zombies. I did not play multiplayer on this, just because, God, when did this come out? Is there a date on here? Oh. Yeah, I didn't play that one very much. Next up, so Black Ops 3 is one of my all-time favorites, and if we're going off of classics for Call of Duty, these two are very strong contenders for me. I know not everyone agrees. I'm giving it, from what I remember, the better game to Modern Warfare 2. Excuse me. I have great memories getting gold guns on the original Black Ops, firing range, Nuketown, whatnot. And even the zombies, you know, some classic Kino. Nothing to knock this game. This game was a blast for me. Loved it. So it's great memories in my heart. Modern Warfare 2, however, still to this day, I went out and bought a Barrett M82, which is not cheap by any means, in a sense because of this game. The fact, because we went from World at War, and like, I think just growing up, like, my family's always owned guns, and they were cool and all. But like to experience all these guns that I can go out and buy is fascinating. It was and still is fascinating to me. Like, I'll use the Barrett as the example. A lot of video games have that in there, but this was like the first one that I remember that had it. And buying that took all my funds, but I would love to go out and buy an intervention from Shytech because of this game. It's about the same cost as that, unfortunately. Actually, I think a little bit more. But like, there's still, to this day, there's guns from this game, like the intervention. I can't own a Beretta 93, but a Beretta 92 would be just as fun. Like, there's things out there. A Scar. I'd love a Scar. Like, there's guns out there that I would like, but, I mean, money. But this game sort of introduced me to that concept that these are real guns you can own. And I love the maps. I have great memories running around on the maps. Just the atmosphere of the game. I love the score streaks. Popping like an emergency. What was it? Emergency airdrop that had 4 score streaks. Like that yellow like pattern for the score streaks and like the way they operated and everything. Love the score streaks, love the maps, love the guns. The gameplay was great. I love that game. And when they remastered the campaign, I really wish they remastered the multiplayer. I would eat that game up. But that's definitely one of my all-time favorite Call of Duties right there. Alright, a little quick here. I'm trying to keep for an hour. I can talk, alright. If you stuck around to this point, let me know in the comments, and I will absolutely like it and let you know I appreciate you. Dynasty Warriors 4 Empires. So for those unfamiliar, every Dynasty Warriors had an Extreme Legends, the base game, Extreme Legends, and an Empires. Empires is just you conquering China. I don't remember anything special about that one. Dynasty Warriors 5 Extreme Legends. This one, I distinctly remember because there was a mode on here. I don't remember which one it was. But what you could do is, you'd start off with your character. You could level them up and progress them through, like, all these challenges over and over and over again. But, like, once you lost health, you lost it. And that progressed to the next challenge. And you just kept going on the challenges until you died. So that was a fun mode, I do remember. That one. Dynasty Warriors 2. This one came out in 2000. This one, man, I don't know how well that actually shows up, but this one's old, and this one was definitely very bare bones Dynasty Warriors. I went out and bought a PS1 for the sole reason of playing the original Dynasty Warriors 1, but I haven't looked in years, so I could be wrong now. But at the time, like, no one was selling it. Dynasty Warriors 5. I don't remember anything special about this one off the top of my head. Dynasty Warriors 6. This was like the first game that kind of modernized it. They revamped they kind of revamped the character designs and the weapons they used and stuff like that. This one is my favorite Dynasty Warriors, is Dynasty Warriors 3. What year did this? 2001. So this game was just this was the game that got me into it. Very, very nostalgic Dynasty Warriors for me. It was very simple. The maps weren't complicated. The weapons weren't complicated. You just went in there, leveled up your character, and killed like 1,000 troops by yourself. Really getting down bare bones here. Call of Duty 3, which came out in 2006. The only thing I remember about this one, I never played the multiplayer, if there even was one. The only thing I remember about this one is just really, really long missions. They were fun, but they were just ridiculously long. And lastly, this is my original copy too. 1990 to 2000. 99 to 2000, excuse me. Call of Duty 2, Big Red One. The campaign for this was definitely fun at the time. And I distinctly remember this mission here. You're in a plane, and you have to like run through the plane, get to the back, and like drop some bombs or shoot some airplanes and stuff like that. So that is really going back for Call of Duty. And I remember one guy, when I went to Best Buy, I think for the third game, and one of the employees there was, I don't remember exactly what he said, but he's like, yeah, they're always going to stay World War II, like old wars, they're never going to go modern, and that's what's going to be the death of them. And wrong he was. And then I don't. This is Guitar Hero World Tour for the PS2. I guess I don't have I might have sold it, or just something might have happened to it, but also Guitar Hero 3. Guitar Hero 3 is classic. I love that game. But this was another one. I love Guitar Hero. ATV Off-Road Fury 2. It's a fun one to just drive around, do some tricks with your friends, and the best memory I have for this one was trying to get to the front of, there's a big train, trying to get to the front of the train on a four-wheeler, and that anytime you like messed up, you'd either fall off or you'd get like launched into the air. Black Hawk Down. This is going to be kind of, so the gameplay was very simple and very fun. The memory I have, if I should even share this, at like the starting mission, you have like a bunch of C4 and claymores and guns and stuff, because you're doing like boot camp. And I remember just setting like a whole mess of C4 down on the sergeant that was training us, and like blowing him sky high. I don't know. This was, oh my gosh, what year was this? 2005? I was 8. Like that was funny for an 8-year-old. And then the classic Battlefront 2. Love this game. It was so much fun to play. Like brother versus brother, friend versus friend. I mean, it's an overall classic. There's not much I can really say about it. Alright, getting down to the wire. Thank you for being patient. This is the PS3 Ghosts Edition, or Hardened Edition. It came with the gun, Season Pass, Paracord, Freefall bonus map, and the Steelbook. Back when Call of Duty did 4 DLC season passes. So it's a fun one to just sit on the shelf and enjoy. I don't want to pull all of it out right now. Alrighty. Getting down to it. You'll notice a lot of Pokemon games here. This is Alpha Sapphire, Omega Ruby. Fun games. don't know, so typically for Pokemon games nowadays, I put a lot of time into them, like collect the Pokédex all the way through and everything. These games I did not, but I played them, got their legendaries, got all the bonus legendaries and whatnot, and they were fun games. I'm just not a fan of the DS and the 3DS style games. Like just playing on a little, even the Switch, I mainly like to play on a TV. I don't really like to play it handheld. So there's that. Do I have... I guess I don't. I have X. I never bought Y, apparently. X is definitely a fun one. It's one I didn't play this one when it came out. I played it a couple of years later, and I regret it. But overall, this was a fun one. Some people like this is their favorite, and like this is the point. See, now you're getting me. So. I could go on a whole ramble here, but for me, like when I played Pokemon Go, I mentioned before, I've played Pokemon occasionally throughout the years, but it was really Pokemon Go that like really brought me into it to where I am now. I collected some cards, I played some games, but I just wasn't like a huge fan until Pokemon Go. And for Pokemon Go, they call them Gen 1ers. I'm a Gen 1er for Pokemon Go. And what I mean by that is, like, I still play it, and I still really enjoy the game, don't get me wrong, but I feel like peak Pokemon Go for me was that summer of 2016. We were all running around. There was only Gen 1 Pokemon in the game, and even then there was missing the legendaries, it was missing Ditto. So there was only like 130, 140 Pokemon in the game. And so because of that, you had plenty of time and chances to level up your existing Pokemon, get them where you wanted them to be. And then it was a big deal. I remember the first time I saw Raichu in the wild. That was a huge deal. And then the example I've used before, we were out at a local beach, Rehoboth Beach, and Snorlax and Lapras were in the wild around me. I had not gotten either of those, and I had not even seen either of those before. So I literally, while the rest of my family was sitting down enjoying appetizers and drink, I was running around the parking lot in local areas until I caught the two. And I wish I didn't, but I did get rid of the Lapras. I still have the Snorlax to this day. I'll never get rid of him now in principle, but like the Pokemon meant something. Nowadays, I've literally had Charizards just spawn in my front yard before, so I feel like the magic's kind of gone in a way. But back when it was just Gen 1, the game was like perfect for me. It was amazing. And it's become its own thing now, but I remember we were just driving around. My parents they're not like tech savvy, but they're also not like brain dead. So like we were driving around and we saw there's like one Pokestop in our town, and there was a car sitting there, and they're like, we pulled up to spin it, the Pokestop, and we rolled our windows down. We're like, yeah, you guys playing Pokemon Go? They're like, oh yeah, you guys play too, and like there's just that sense of like camaraderie, and like we're just talking to total random strangers about Pokemon Go, and like everyone just came together in a fun way. I don't know the point for the main series games. I mean, I know they want to make their money. They come out with a new generation every 3 years. I think for me, Gen 6 for X and Y might be that point. Because after that, you're just making legendaries to make legendaries. I could also see the argument being made for Gen 4 being like the end-all be-all called Diamond Pearl. The story was fantastic. At that point, you had Gen 1, 2, 3, and 4. So you had, like, you had the legendary birds, Lugia, and Ho-Oh. You had, like, representations of earth, fire, like the for Groudon, and like the water for Kyogre, the sky for Rayquaza. Gen 4 introduced time, space, Arceus, the god of Pokemon. Like, where do you go from there? I think for me, like, you can maybe make the argument like Gen 4, for me at least, like, after that it started feeling less like Pokemon. I'm not saying it doesn't, it still does feel like Pokemon, but I think it feels like less like Pokemon. I think I got too chaotic, but that's my side ramble. I enjoy all the Pokemon games. Legend Arceus that came out, I'll get to that. That's one of my all-time favorites. I put so many hours into that game, but I don't know. There's just a point where I think it becomes, you're at 1,000 Pokemon. I think that becomes a little too much. Sun and Moon. These were my first main series games that I, like, religiously played when they came out. Like I said, I played, like Ruby Sapphire when they first came out. I'll get up and show you these afterwards, but I have, like, a lot of the older games that I played, but I never got into them. So these are the first games that I, like, got into when they came out, and I enjoyed them. I'll just stay on the Pokemon theme while I'm at it. I got Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. I don't really remember the differences off the top of my head between Sun and Moon and Ultra Sun and Moon, but again, good games. Ocarina of Time for the 3DS. Again, great game. Maybe that's how I'll play it on this one again. I don't know, should I play it on this or the N64 for my replay of Ocarina of Time? Okay, well, I never played A Link Between Worlds. This is another one I got, and for whatever reason, I'm just not a fan of, like, the handheld consoles. I like a TV to play it on, so that's why, like, I want to play that game, but I don't know. Battlefront Elite Squadron. If I remember correctly, this one wasn't really Battlefront-y. This one had you follow, like, you and your brother throughout, like, all the Star Wars games. It was okay, from what I remember. And lastly, taking you back, Heart Gold, Soul Silver. It's another game. Because when did this one come out? 2010, yeah. It's one of those games I bought around the time it came out. Played a little bit of it, and I just, looking back, I wish I played more, but just never really got into it. But I still have the game. Still got its original book in there. Game, whatnot. Not for resale. Interesting. It's really not for resale. I don't know. They sold it to me. Alright, and I'll show you my Game Boy games in a minute. Lastly, I brought out my Switch games. I'm gonna start off with Pokemon Violet. I still have yet to play it. I know. I'll get around to it. That's a game I want to put time and effort into. And once I start it, I don't want to stop it. So I want to get done the games I'm currently playing, and then I'll get into it. Kirby Star Alliances. Yeah, it was a fun one. I do remember this one. And it's hard. It's a Kirby game, so I'll never complain about it. Link's Awakening. This one, it was okay. I never played it like originally on like the SNES or whatever it came out on. But this was my first time playing it, and it was okay. Like Ocarina of Time, I'll be 50 wanting to still go back and replay it. This wasn't one of those. It was fun to play through once, but I don't foresee myself playing it. So Just Dance 2019, it had 40 tracks, and then the rest you had to buy. So you paid $60 for 40 tracks. This game is the last Just Dance I probably ever will buy. I liked the games, but it's absurd. This isn't a game, this is just the gold. Because I have Sword and Shield. I played the crap out of these games. I bought the the Isle of Iron and the Crown Tundra DLCs for these, and maxed out the Pokédex. Had a great time playing. I enjoyed the whole like wild area. The story was fun. I don't know. It was fun. It was fun. Don't have a whole lot to add to it. Brilliant Diamond. So I liked the game. I had fun with it. I went all the way till I got Arceus. And I shiny hunted the crap out of Shaman. I probably had well over 1,000 resets and never got him. I was well over 1,000 resets and never got him. One of my save files, I made two. One that I could get the mythicals now, and then the other I could shiny hunt them because I got the tickets whenever. It was fun. Yeah, the Grand Underground or whatever. It was fun and all trying to get the Pokemon. The problem I had with it was released. I totally didn't just drop a game there, but or was I? Brilliant Diamond was released at the same time or around Legends Arceus. And let me tell you, this is one of my all-time favorite Pokemon games. I have great memories last year, even going into the summer, of shiny hunting on this game. I thought the story was excellent. It was done very well. You explored a little. You had to get your rank up to go to the next world or the next part of the map. So I thought the exploration was done beautifully. The areas were done beautifully, and like the Pokemon that are specific to those areas. You get through the story, and like it all builds up to you meeting the legendaries, collecting and battling the legendaries. And then when you put in a serious amount of work to complete all the Pokédexes, you get to face off and catch Arceus himself. And I thought that part was done beautifully. It was a great build-up, great fun. It wasn't just handed to you. You had to earn it. And it was fun trying to earn it. And then even after that, I went and I didn't complete it, but you can, if you do 10 challenges, you get to complete the Pokédex. And then you get to complete that entry of the Pokédex. And then you can perfect it by doing all of the challenges. And I got probably a good halfway through all the Pokemon on perfect Pokédex entries, and then I gave up. But I have great memories of the massive mass outbreaks and stuff. You just go to an area, you fly around, you explore it, you level up and do challenges for your Pokemon, and at the same time, you fly around looking for the little stars to pop up, because one of the Pokemon is a shiny. And there's entire days, like during my summer, where I would wake up and play for 12 hours, catch a bunch of shinies, and go to bed. So, Legends Arceus, I loved the world and exploring and the shiny hunting. It was near perfect for me, in my opinion. Next up, Let's Go Pikachu. This one sort of tapped into that like Gen 1 nostalgia. The Pokédex is simple again, 151 Pokemon. I bought the Pokeball Plus that had Mew in it, and I only caught a couple shinies just because of the way things. You had to like catch 30 Pokemon to get your shiny streak up, but overall, fun game. I did enjoy it, and I did like it. Just not a whole lot of post-game for me. And then, Breath of the Wild. When I first got the Switch, they were very hard to get. Back in 2017, it was March for my birthday. And I got the game for my birthday. I'm trying to remember. I got the game for my birthday, and then it was trying to find the system was hard. And there was a Best Buy employee that told us, like, hey, if you come by Saturday morning when we first open, we're gonna get 5 of them in. And I was one of those lucky people. Got there about 2 hours early. Sure enough, they opened the door, and I got one of the 5. So, which is still the Switch I have now. So this was the first game I played. Got great memories staying up. So the first time I played it, or one of the first times, I can't remember, I was in college. And still to this day, I have a couple times, but they're actually pretty rare for me to pull all-nighters. So the game works as it's a huge map, and you have to discover these towers in order to discover that part of the map. And I remember the first night I played it, I think it was the first night, I just went around like trying to map out the whole map. So I'd fly around, activate these towers, and just sort of exploring the map. And one of the few times I can truly say this is I remember looking over at the clock and it was like midnight and like, oh, I'll just play for a little bit more. And the next thing I knew, the sun was coming up. It was like 6 in the morning. And I just like 5 or 6 in the morning when the sun came up. And yeah, I'm just like, is that the sun? I'm like, holy crap. I'm like, so like perfect world exploration in my opinion. And I cannot wait for the second one to come out. I'm hoping, it's been a long time, but I'm hoping I'd rather it take a long time for a great game to come out than rush a crappy game. So I'm hoping it's just as good, if not better than this one. And if it's better, wow, that would be insane. Alright, so real quick, that's all the games I have here. Hopefully I can be quiet enough. Bear with me. So, I don't want to go and take this video on for crazy amounts of time. I don't know where my Game Boy games are. I remember Link to the Past and Legend of Zelda Link to the Past and Legend of Zelda Minish Cap were probably some of my favorites. for the Game Boy Advance, which is the handheld I played. So the Game Boy Advance was brand new. It was like $100 when it first came out. I bought a DS. That one got fried. And then I bought a 3DS XL, I think is what it was. But my mom had a original Game Boy. And so I do have Pokemon Red and Yellow. Don't know how well those show up. The originals. Because I think there's a pen pending on there. And then I have the original Gold, Silver, and Crystal. These are for the Game Boy. This one's actually for the Game Boy Color. So these are some of the original Game Boy games. I first started on the Game Boy Advanced SP, but I did play these games when they came out. Just like I said, I wish I played them more because, like I said, I'm holding, and I did play when I was a kid the original Game Boy Red, but I didn't play enough that I get this huge nostalgia trip or anything. So I kind of feel like a poser, but it is what it is. I did play it. That's where I'll leave that at. So probably am going to break this up into 2 videos. If you stuck around for the end, I thank you so much. I can ramble, especially about video games. Like I said, the time and place in my life that I played them, and just the game themselves, a lot of fun. And yeah, let me know if you agree or disagree on any of my video games that I enjoyed, if you didn't like them or whatever. And let me know about some of your favorite games in the comments below. If you enjoy this video, please give it a like, so I know what types of videos you guys want to see in the future. Let me know if you have any ideas for future videos. I'm happy to make them. And I greatly appreciate you. And I guess I'll see you in the next one. Peace.